في كتير طرق وسط الحياة تاهوا فيها ناس، وطرق تبان مفروشة ورد وتنتهي بألم وضيق، لكن الطريق للفرحة وطريق الخلاص عند المسيح. أصل المسيح هو الحياة، هو الطريق. الطريق 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 الطريق
Hello, marhaba, and welcome to the first live episode of Woman Who Makes a Difference.
أهلا وسهلا فيكم، مبسوطين إنه نشوفكم وتكونوا معنا مرة تانية في برنامجنا. أهلا وسهلا فيكم مشاهدينا. امرأة تحدث فرقاً.
We're so glad you're with us today. I am very happy to have you and have our friends in the studio audience. I am Dr. Cynthia, Tabiba Cynthia. Maybe you remember from our previous series. And we have with us today my co-host for Woman Who Makes a Difference, Randa, and our guest of the day, Barbie. I want to introduce you a little bit about what we're going to do in this live show, and also about the guests and, of course, your hosts, Dr. Cynthia and Randa. Now, I'm hoping that some of you have watched our series, Woman Who Makes a Difference. And if you haven't, you can see them posted online. And Lord willing, inshallah, they will be again being shown on the Way TV and possibly the Cross TV. In our show, we discuss issues that women face in everyday life. And what we think makes the show especially rich is that we have both the American perspective and the Middle Eastern perspective on these issues by combining with friends from the Middle East. So hold on, folks. If you speak Arabic or maybe mostly Arabic and a little English, this is a good show for you because questions that you might have had watching the English series, we can address today in Arabic. So if you wait for about 10 or 15 minutes, we'll start taking your calls live from anywhere in the world. And you can ask questions in English or Arabic. We'd especially like questions that appertain to either what we're talking about today or things that you saw on our series. So let's think. What are we going to talk about today? Well, as you may recall, it's been about 4 years. Can you believe it, Randa? About 4 years.
4 years ago.
Since we filmed this series, it's hard to believe. Randa and I have been friends for many years and worked together in the Middle East and in America and in Europe. And we have a lot of thoughts that we like to share with each other because it's fantastically interesting, in fact, fascinating, to look at the same problem from two perspectives. So we want to review some of the things today that we spoke about 4 years ago. We spoke, as you might recall, about 12 issues that are of great importance to women. And in the last 4 years, both of us have had some different experiences, some things that throw more light on that. And we think that we can maybe make it a more full discussion by bringing in some of the things we've learned and maybe talk about how they relate to changes in our lives and give you a chance to think about how your life has changed in the last 4 years and maybe think of lessons you learned then and how what we are saying could apply to them. And besides Randa and I, we will have some insights from someone else this time. You remember our series was just Randa and I, but we thought it would be richer to bring in some insights from Barbie. Barbie is a coach and a teacher. She spends her time, divides her time between America and the Middle East. She's spent many years in both locations, so she's quite bicultural in many ways. So we feel that that's a good insight on how women's issues have affected someone who can see it from both sides living it. Whereas Randa is mostly in the Middle East, I'm mostly in America. Put it all together, and we think we'll have a great show for you. So let's think, what were some of those issues we talked about 4 years ago? Well, friends, I tried to think them over, and I made lists. I got little Post-it notes, and I put, oh, yes, we spoke about this, and we spoke about this, each one of our episodes. So this Post-it, for example, says anger. We have some on balancing your life. How do you balance all the many things a woman has to do in life? What about burnout, when you just can't take anymore? Self-esteem, forgiveness, conflict, critical spirit, blooming wherever you are planted, and of course, issues that have to do with marriage and children. And one of my favorites, how to have peace in our hearts and with those who live around us in the middle of this crazy world that sometimes we don't even know what we're here for. So that's a general overview of the topics that we looked at and we will revisit today. And we're hoping that you will call in and you'll have some good questions on some of these. But we're going to just start off talking about a few here so you get our ideas. Randa will probably be giving you a little bit of an Arabic, not a full translation, but give you an idea of what we're speaking about so that if your English is weak, you can feel like you're still part of us, because we want everyone out there to feel like you just came to our living room and you're sitting with us.
Yes.
And folks, we invite men to watch too. We are so happy if you do, because men need to know what women think, obviously, and what we go through. And women need to know what men think and what they go through. And of course, we need to know what children think and when we understand each other. Because every human brain is a little different. When we understand each other, we can make more peace in the world. And that includes in our hearts, in families, in our churches, in our neighborhood, in our societies, and in our countries. Yes, and how many of you out there think we need peace in our countries today? Anybody? Oh, wow. You know, we need peace, and we need more understanding. So, Randa, would you like to just summarize what we are thinking of sharing today with our viewers, maybe in Arabic? Give them a hint.
احنا كنا عم نفكر انه اكيد انتم شفتوا بعض من الحلقات، hopefully انه تكونوا شفتوا منها، اتشجعتوا، يمكن فكرتوا انه هذا ما بنطبق علينا لانه كان بالانجليزي، بس بدي اقول لكم يا احنا السيدات زي بعض. انا من اوروبا، من امريكا، من الشرق الاوسط، شمال افريقيا، من وين ما كنت احنا احساسنا، مشاعرنا زي بعض. الله ميزنا بطريقه حلوه، كيف نحس ونفكر، أعطانا الشفافية وأعطانا المشاعر، لكن للأسف عدو النفوس سرق منا هذا الشيء خلانا نفكر إنه هذا عبء علينا. حساسيتنا، طبيعتنا، حلاوتنا، رقتنا، هذه اللي الله خلقها فينا عشان إحنا نتميز. فعشان هيك فكرنا إنه لما حكينا بالبرنامج مع الدكتورة سينثيا إنه الأشياء اللي إحنا بتخصنا كسيدات، إن كان بالصراعات، إن كان بالمسامحة، لأنه كتير بننأذي، كتير بننجرح، كتير نهان. يمكن هذا ربى جواتي غضب، والغضب سيطر علي لحديت أنا مش قادرة أفكر صح، مش قادرة أعيش حياتي صح، مش قادرة أشتغل. يمكن قبولي لنفسي إجا من عدم قبول أهلي إلي. فهاي المواضيع اللي إحنا غطيناها، وإن شاء الله هلأ بنعمة الرب بدنا نناقش فيها شوي، وإحنا مستعدين نستقبل تليفونات إذا في أي سؤال، أي شيء إحنا ممكن نحكي مع بعض، نساعد، نفكر. أهلا وسهلا فيكم، عربي إنجليزي. we're available here for you just to hear your calls and take your questions and to help in any way we can.
The first topic I think we should address is something very common, and that's conflict.
Wow.
In our series, we talked about conflict resolution. And what I found, folks in life, being a medical doctor, studying some psychiatry, working with people all over the world, people of different religions, people of different ages, I found that everyone's brain is a little different. Mm-hmm. Have you noticed that we are not all alike? Have you ever met someone that you think, I don't understand, what are they thinking? I do not get that person at all. So they are stupid, or they are whatever. They are not understandable, not normal, something different. Well, they may be looking at us and thinking the same thing, because we all have a point of view. We all have a way we see the world. And other people may look at us and think we don't see the world straight. Who has the view, the overall view? The only one who sees everything correct is who, ladies? God.
Yes.
The Lord, you know, Allah. He sees everything, and we don't. So I find that because of a lack of understanding of this, problems happen. One way I found a lot of problems is through technology. I'm really happy for technology, but have you ever noticed that by texting or emailing your friends, they can misunderstand you and you end up in arguments? My daughter was along the electronic curve earlier than me, so I was finding every couple of days she was having a falling out with one of her friends over texting or something on the internet, maybe Facebook or whatever, because people misunderstood it. So there are many ways to have conflict. Another thing I've found is that I can offend people without even knowing it, especially when I work in a bicultural situation. I come from an American culture. I hope, I've learned a little more about Middle Eastern culture and Asian cultures than when I started. But even now, I find that I can offend people, and I'm totally shocked to find this out. It's a surprise for me, and I think we should all be aware that maybe we offend people without knowing it, and that keeps us humble. So, Randa, you shared with us quite a bit about conflict resolution last time. What would you like to share with our viewers today that you might have learned, or something you could add?
Maybe just to remind ourselves that conflicts is very normal thing to happen. We are different. The way we've been raised, our characters, the environment we've been raised for. So if we take it as something very normal to be different, we accept that there will be something we don't agree. And if we say that even there is things that we don't agree on, still that means that we will not allow it to have a conflict between us. So لما عم نحكي عن الصراعات أمر طبيعي. بين الناس، واختلافنا عن بعض مش مفروض يخلينا نختلف. فلما أنا بحط ببالي إشي طبيعي إنه إحنا نختلف عن بعض بطريقة تربيتنا، بطريقة حياتنا، بالوسط أو البيئة اللي إحنا عايشين فيها، فإشي طبيعي إنه نكون مختلفين، لكن هذا لا يؤدي إلى الخلاف أو إلى الصراع. فإذا ذكرنا نفوسنا بهذا الشيء رح يعطينا أريحية في التعامل and to deal and work with others from different backgrounds and characters and societies, let's say.
Barbie, can you add something from your insight living in the Middle East and in America and just what you've seen over your life experience?
You know, I was raised by a very permissive mother. My father left us when I was 10, and I pretty much did what I wanted to do. Happily, sometimes, I became a peacemaker. And God has used that in understanding other cultures and being in other parts of the world where I've lived. Also, as a believer in Yeshua, I turned to the book of Proverbs, Solomon's Proverbs, just to look, meditate, think. There is so much wisdom there, and to look at God's perspective. And this has helped me a great deal. Not that it's always worked out, but I have learned through all the lessons that He gives us opportunity day by day to do much better with conflict and not just back away and not be part of it.
Yes. Good.
Yeah.
I think that's right. When I was reviewing some of our topics for today, I was thinking so many of them have verses out of the book of Proverbs that it's almost like we're doing a course on Proverbs. So I agree with Barbie. And if you haven't read the book of Proverbs yet, we encourage you to do that. One easy way to do it is take a chapter every day, because there are 31 chapters in the book. You remember before we talked about Proverbs 31 because that's all about women. We love that. But every chapter is good. And maybe, Randa, you can explain to them in Arabic how that might be of benefit to them. I don't remember the name in Arabic.
حقيقي بنشجعكم كثير زي ما حكينا حتى يساعدنا بالعلاقات وبحل الصراعات والمشاكل احنا بنمر فيها. لقينا احنا الثلاثه وانا متاكده انه كثير منا بعرف انه باتباع هاي الطريقه انه يقرا من امثال، وهو اذا بتلاحظوا انه هو او راح تلاحظوا اذا ما قريتوا قبل انه 31 اصحاح، فكل يوم لو اخذنا اصحاح وقراناه راح نلاحظ انه هاي حكمه اليوم اللي احنا راح نتشجع فيها وراح تقودنا، بدل ما انا ادور على مساعدات من برا او ممكن ما بعرف في ناس على الابراج، في ناس على الحظ. للاسف بكون لي علاقه شخصيه مع الله، لكن بفكر بطرق مساعده تساعدني اعرف نهاري. لكن انا بشجعكم بقول لكم ارجعوا للكتاب المقدس اللي هو كلمه الله الحق اللي بده يساعدني كل يوم بيومه. بشجعكم تقروا من امثال لانه راح تلاقي حكمه اليوم. الرب يبارككم.
Amen.
And just finishing up on that topic, and of course we can come back to it if you want to ask questions, but one thing I found very interesting when I was reading a sermon from a pastor to the early Americans, and by the way, some of you may not know that the early European settlers of America were mostly religious people who came here to practice their faith. I spoke to a Syrian woman 2 days ago who has been in America 24 years and never heard this. So I know that not everyone knows that. But before a group was leaving for America, their pastor told them, I believe most of you are mature enough in your faith that you are not going to be offending people. You're not purposely going to offend anyone. However, you might take offense. And I learned so much from that sermon. That sermon is nearly 400 years old.
Wow.
But what I learned from that is they are right. He is right. How many of us can be offended but how many more times than we try to offend someone. Do you really try to offend someone during the day? Maybe you do. If so, you need to pray about that and work on it, repent. But many times we can get offended, like, why did they say that to me? How could they do that? And I feel that that's something that maybe as you walk on in your faith a bit, you might need to work on more, as not being offended by other people. And then we won't have so many conflicts. So do you have a comment on that, Rando or Barbie, about taking offense as opposed to giving offense?
أنا بقول كتير أوقات اللي بيأثر علينا بالصراعات هو لما نسمع من ناس عبارات أو بنحكي كلمات وممكن بنعنيها ممكن ما بنعنيها، بس مجرد إنه نحكي ما بنفكر بكلامنا وبنشوف قديش ممكن يأذي أو يجرح وقديش بيسوي صراع ومشكلة. فأنا بأكد على اللي حكته. Yes, I agree with what you said and this is what I explained. Yes.
Barbie, any comments on giving and taking offense?
Yeah, I might add, well, I've learned through the years, I hear something, it hurts. The bigger it is, the deeper it goes. I feel it. Maybe I'll make a comment to the person, maybe I don't, but I will go to God about it. I will share with Him. He knows our hearts. He knows what we're feeling. And just talk to Him about it and lift it up to Him. And it is amazing how it will just be carried away from us and not be a burden.
We'd like to open up the phone lines now. You can see the number on the bottom of the screen. And we're not saying we can work out all your conflicts for you, but we'll start taking calls. We'd like to take them about conflict. We're going on to speak about anger now, and we'll cover some of the other topics. But Randa, would you like to let our Arabic speakers know about starting the calls?
احنا هلا مستعدين انه نستقبل تليفوناتكم، نسمع آرائكم بالحكينا إذا في أي سؤال، وأكيد ما رح نقدر نجاوب كل شيء. نحن مع بعض رح نحاول إنه خلينا أقول نقشر هالبصلة، نفتح هالوراق قطعة مع بعض، وممكن نوصل لحلول بنعمة الله، لأنه كل وحدة منكم وكل واحد منكم غالي على قلب الرب، وهو بحب يشبع أولاده بأنه يرتاحوا ويعرفوا الحلول لحياة أفضل وعلاقة أفضل معه بنعمة الرب. فإحنا مستعدين هلأ إنه ناخذ أي اتصال. وموضوعنا هلأ رح نحكي فيه عن الغضب، موضوع مهم.
So let's talk now a little bit about what happens after that first offense comes. A lot of times we want to get angry. And anger was the topic of one of our shows in the series. And I think that's something we can address now, because is anger a problem every day? Do we get offended every day? Does someone say something that hurts our feelings, or we could become angry? The Bible tells us to be slow to anger. And I think we talked about a way of dealing with anger, which is a time out. And I would like Randa maybe to share with us a little bit maybe about the time out, or about ways to handle anger.
يعني موضوع الغضب بحس من أصعب المواضيع اللي ممكن نواجهها، لأنه محزن إن أقول إشي يومي بنتعرض له بحياتنا، والغضب ما بيجي لحظي ووقتي، لكن الغضب إجا من سنين اتعبت. دائما بشبهها بهالكاس اللي قدامنا، كاسة المي اللي فيها مي، عنا أوجاع، عنا آلام، عنا أشياء من ماضينا من طفولتنا، وبتصير تتجمع وتزيد. عشان هيك أنا بوصل إنه أغضب بسهولة من أي كلمة، من أي نظرة، من أي جرح، من أي تعامل، حتى لو كان مقصود أو غير مقصود، لأنه أنا جواتي الكاسة تبعتي ملانة، فما مش ناقصني أي شيء غير أفيض وأغضب فيها. فعشان هيك دغري ميالين انه نغضب، وردود افعالنا الصعبه بتطلع للاخرين. بس بدي اذكركم هون انه اول واحد بنأذي بالغضب هو انا. لما انا بغضب على الاخرين اول واحد متضرر هو انا، رح ياثر علي سلبيا. مش رح اقدر اسيطر على نفسي ان كان بالكلمات، بردود الافعال، بكلمات رح اندم عليها، ما رح اقدر اصححها بعدين. ممكن اشياء بجسدي، بامراض، بوجع معده، وجع راس، مايجرين، ضغط، ارتفاع ضغط الدم. كل هاي الامور رح تاثر علي وتفجر، تاذيني انا اول وحده وتفجر على الاخرين. So anger with the consequences and the result of it that really leaves, let's say, the hurt on us. The only person who would be hurt is me myself, because and then it will spread out to everybody near that I can't fix what I really did during when I'm really angry and feeling bad. You know?
I agree totally. I used to be, I didn't really realize, but more like a volcano.
Yes.
Something happened, I reacted, you know, I blew
Yeah.
up. And slowly, sometimes difficult lessons, I learned more to respond, which leads to a timeout, let's say.
Yes.
And just slow down. And times that I did not, let's say with my children or my husband, odd times they will come to me at night, and the enemy would like to condemn me again. And then I will just claim the blood of Yeshua over the situation. I have been forgiven. It is gone. I have learned, and move on.
Amen.
Yes.
We're going to take a 1-minute station break, and we'll come back, talk a little more about anger, and we're hoping to get some of your calls at the time. Thank you. Stay with us.
وقال لهم اذهبوا إلى العالم أجمع واكرزوا بالإنجيل للخليقة كلها. اذهبوا وتلمذوا جميع الأمم وعمدوهم باسم الآب والابن والروح القدس. فويل لي إن كنت لا أبشر. في ناس بتوعظ، في ناس بتخدم، في ناس بتدعي، كلنا هنكرز باسم المسيح.
There's a great proverb that relates to anger, and it says, a foolish person shows their annoyance at once, but a wise person overlooks it, overlooks an insult. How would we say that, Randa, in Arabic? It's Proverbs 12:16.
Well, I don't know it by heart, بس الرجل الحكيم يتأنى. لازم نشوفها بالكتاب، أقرأها. إذا ممكن عندنا كتاب عربي. I wish you told me before.
So the idea is that
طولوها من أمثال قديش كمان مرة 6 قديش أمثال can you say again
12:16.
أمثال 12 16. يا ريت تشوفوها لأنه أنا بعتذر إني أنا مش حافظتها، فيا ريت تشوفوها تطلعوها من الكتاب عشان تعرفوا هاي الآية.
So have you thought about it, or have you noticed someone and you say something to them and you think they should have been upset, but they take it very calmly? Or have you tried that yourself? And don't you feel like you respect someone when they're very calm and they give a calm answer? So the goal with anger is not to never be angry. That wouldn't be human. The Bible even tells us God is angry, but he's slow to be angry. So the idea of taking a time out is not to just show your annoyance at once. Back off and think about it. If you are steaming, go into the other room and think about it. I had a funny thing happen this week I want to share with you. I got a phone call, a phone message, and when I listened, it was meant for someone else.
Ah,
And this person called me and on my phone left a message talking about me and saying something unflattering. It was someone I had never met who was considering doing business with me and didn't know me really or anything about me. But because they thought, oh, you know, she's a doctor or she is this or that, they said something unflattering. And imagine, in a way it was funny. I started thinking this is very funny because that person doesn't know I'm getting the wrong voicemail.
Oh.
And I thought, you know, I'm indignant in a way, but I want to act in a way that they will not see anger, but they will see what my character is or what I would like my character to be. So I think that's an answer of how we can do it. I decided I'm not going to say anything right away. Unfortunately, I did have to speak to this person because it was a business arrangement. I couldn't get out of it, but it's probably good because I wanted to behave in a very mature and Christian way. So that's one example of how I could pick up the phone and dial that person right away and say, how dare you say that about me? You don't know me or anything about me. But isn't it better to just wait and say, Lord, help me to behave in this in a way that would bring glory to you? So that's the idea of a time out. Not only do we calm down a bit, but sometimes we get a really good idea of how to deal with this. So I prayed about it. I asked my husband, you know, what do you think I should say? How should I do this? And talked it out a bit. What do you think, ladies? Have you done something like that?
يعني أنا حسيت اللي ساعدني بالموضوع كتير إنه أفكر بالإشي اللي صار. يعني لما أنا غضبت ليش؟ لأنه ناس ضايقني أو حكى إشي غلط أو خصوصا غلطوا. يعني دائما توقع إنه يعملوا الإشي الأفضل. بس اللي صار يساعدني بموضوع الغضب إنه أنا بغلط وأنا بضعف. يعني وهذه يمكن صارت معنا كتير وإحنا منسوق. يمكن بتلاقي واحد مرق بطريقة غلط أو هذا يمكن ما بتصير عندكم هون بس عندنا بالشرق بتصير. فبتلاقي الغلطة اللي هو عملها بالسيارة أو لما زاح من قدامك نفس الشيء أنت بعد شوي بتعملها. فصرت أحس هذا صار يخليني أمتص شوي الغضب وأمتص نفسي. وزي ما قلت قبل شوي لأنه أي رد فعل أنا عم بعمله بغضبي رح أندم عليه وآثاره ما بتروح بسهولة من الشخص اللي أنا غضبت عليه، إن كان أولادنا، عائلتنا بالبيت، زوجي، الناس اللي بحتك فيهم بالعمل، بالكنيسة. فالآثار صعبة وما بتنتسى بسهولة. فعشان هيك أصلي زي ما حكينا وزي ما حكت سنتيا إن أقول يا رب أعطيني نعمة حقيقي إنه أستوعب الآخرين وأعرف إنه هن زيي بشر، إحنا بشر وكلنا رح نضعف وكل واحد معنا رح يعمل أخطاء ما بنقبلها. عشان هيك بقدر أمتص الآخرين. هيك بفكر.
Any comments on that, Barbie?
I've
Do you agree?
learned not to erupt, but to think, now, why are they saying this? Where are they coming from? And just listening, hearing. When someone speaks, they want you to hear. So I've learned to listen, to hear,
That
and
will
then
help.
in God's grace to respond properly, sooner or later.
Yes.
And what you said about listen and understand what they're thinking, I think I mentioned in our series before what we say in English, consider the source, or think about where it's coming from.
Yes.
And I find that to be so helpful. My grandmother told that to my mother told it to me. How would you put that in Arabic about consider the source?
يعني هذا اللي احنا بنحكيه دائما انه الغضب له سبب. وقبل شوي حكينا انه الردود افعال بتطلع هي زي البابلز بس اللي بتبين، لكن بالحقيقه في مصدر له بسبب الطفولة، بسبب الألم، بسبب الرفض، بسبب شعوري بالنقص، لأنه دائما كنت أسمع أنت ما بتفهمي، أنت ما بتعرف شو بفهمك، فلان أحسن منك، المقارنات، إخوة ببعض، خوات ببعض، مع العيلة، مع القرايب. فهذا ولد جواتي غضب، وهذا هو المصدر لغضبي، مش الإشي اللي بيصير لحظي وقتي، لأنه لو هيك لو كل واحد بده يزعل على إشي صار يعني مش معقول. بس ما بنغضب ونزعل إلا لأنه من جواتي تراكمات، زي ما حكيت قبل شوي الكاس عندي فاض، فأي نقطة بدها تعمل تحريك للجوا كله، والثورة زي البركان زي ما حكينا.
Because when we think about where they're coming from, it can change our whole perspective. For example, about 2 days ago, I spent most of the day with a friend and was at her house, and she started saying and doing things that were very rude. And I had to start asking myself, okay, why is she doing this? Where is she coming from? And then I realized she was having troubles with her family, she was having troubles with work, she was having many troubles, and was really not in a very good mood that day. She was having health problems. So it wasn't really coming out of, gee, I don't like you, I want you to get out of here, or whatever. It was coming from this pain she was suffering.
Yes.
And I think if we can all try to look deeper when that person offends us, it might help us not get angry. Even someone that we're very close to, maybe they're having a bad day. It doesn't mean that what they're doing is right, perhaps, but we can understand it. And then we feel more generous about forgiving. And forgiveness is going to be our next topic here. Randa, would you like to lead off and sharing something about forgiveness? And by the way, we're ready to take your calls, and we hope you're going to call.
حقيقي الغضب بقودنا للغفران أو المسامحة، والكلمة بحسها كبيرة، لأنه مش سهل علي أسامح، خصوصا الأشخاص اللي جرحوني وألموني. في أشخاص متكرر إساءتهم، بكونوا عارفين إني أنا بتألم وبستمروا، فبتيجي بتقولي رندا، يعني إن شاء الله أنت بتيجي بتقولي عن غفران أو عن مسامحة، ما بتعرفي قديش انجرحت، ما بتعرفي الكلام اللي بسمعه، ما بتعرفي جوزي كيف يتعامل معي، يمكن من عيلتي أو من شغلي. وأنا بقول لكم الغفران صعب، مش سهل أبدا، عشان هيك بنحتاج لقوة الله الفوق الطبيعية حتى تساعدني إني أغفر. بس بدي أذكركم بشغلة بالنسبة للغفران، وإذا شفتوا الحلقة رح تعرفوا عن موضوع الغفران أكثر. بالغفران لما أنا بقول للشخص أنا بسامحك أو بقدر أغفر، مش عشانه ولا لأنه هو بيستاهل، بس أنا بغفر لأنه الله سامحني وغفر لي. أنا بغفر لأنه أنا عم بحرر نفسي وعم بطيع الله، يعني أنا اللي عم بتحرر بعملية الغفران، بطلق نفسي، لأنه عدم الغفران بقيدني وبحطني أسيرة مربوطة بهذا الشخص، بصير المكان اللي هو فيه ما بدي أروح، الكلام اللي بحكي ما بدي أسمعه، أي إشي علاقة أنا بدي أهرب، فبحس حالي أنا مقيدة أكثر منه. فأنا لما أنا بغفر أنا I release myself، بطلق نفسي وبحرر نفسي. أنا بغفر لأني أنا عم بطيع الله، مش خيار، it's not a choice، بس هذه هي طاعة. والكتاب شو بقولنا؟ اغفروا كما أن أبي الذي في السماوات يغفر لكم. بالله بعلمنا الغفران والمسامحة، لأنه حياته معنا كل لحظة بلحظة هو عم بغفر. خطاياكم لا أعود أذكرها فيما بعد. كل لحظة بلحظة الله عم بغفر، كل لحظة أنا عم باجي عم بيسامحني. كيف أنا ما بدي هقدر أسامح وأغفر لأخوي؟ وبنعرف قصة العبد اللي إجا مديون بمبلغ كبير، وإجا لسيده وترجاه إنه يغفر له ويسامحه بالمبلغ، وقال له لا، مش ممكن مش ممكن. بعدين شو صار؟ شو صار؟ قبل إنه هو يسامحه السيد وسامحه بالمصاري، لكن هذا الأخ مع أخوه الثاني راح إله وقال له أنا بدي تعطيني المبلغ، وكان مديون فقط ب100 دينار، بمبلغ زهيد. وما قبل وطلب انه اخوه هذا ينسجن. شو عم بيصير؟ راحوا الناس اللي شافوا هذا الوضع قالوا هو ما قبل يسامح بمبلغ بسيط، مع انك انت يا سيد سامحته بمبلغ كبير. وياما احنا بنعمل مع بعضنا بنفس الطريقه وبنفس الاسلوب، ما بنقدر نسامح اساءات مع انه الله سامحني باشياء عظيمه وقبلني زي ما انا. هذا هو الغفران.
And Barbie?
Yes, we can look at life different ways. One way that I, as a teacher, look at it is as school, a school. The younger we are, the lessons are simpler, the exams are simpler. We grow, get older, the exams get more difficult, the life lessons. One of the hardest that I went through was a divorce. And after 20 years and 4 children, but also another tragedy of losing a child, so this is a big deal. Trying to understand a husband that you said vows with that would leave, and forgiveness. Oh, I had to work on that with God's help, and just give him up. But how the enemy would love for this to just go round and round in our minds and take us down. But in Yeshua, we have wisdom and strength and peace and presence that can really take us through it all, through anything. He has done this for me.
I think what you ladies said about forgiveness is very good, and I'm not going to add to it. But I think we could move on from there to something that grows out of this lack of understanding of different people or different cultures. And it's a topic we covered in our episode called critical spirit. And this is just a way of looking at other people, looking at the world, and not being content or putting other people down, either because we don't like the way they look, we don't like the way they dress, we don't like the way they act, we don't like being around them, we think they're too rich, we think they're too poor, we don't like how they smell. And we don't like maybe what our leaders are doing. We don't like our teacher, we don't like our boss. We can fill our minds with so much negative, like Barbie just said, going around and around and around, not just from what people have done to us, but just how we don't like them. And frankly, not all of us like everything. We all are our ways, and we like what fits with us better, but some things we don't like. So how do we approach other people and life situations when it's not something we agree with? How do we keep from being critical? And Randa gave us some very good ideas on that during our last show. And I'm hoping she and Barbie have some fresh insights they can share with us on being critical and how not to be.
بنحكي عن النقد والانتقاد. هلا النقد بحد ذاته إذا كان إيجابي حلو، وإذا كان من باب المحبة والصداقة الحلوة حتى أساعد الناس يمشوا بطريقهم بطريقة أفضل، تحسين بحياتهم أو بعلاقاتهم، يا ريت هذا كتير إشي رائع وبناء. بس للأسف النقد بحد ذاته إذا كان سلبي بيهدم وبيفشل وبيوقفني عند حدي بإني أتقدم. ليه؟ لأنه لما أنا دائما بسمع انتقاد بحس ما بدي أبدأ بمشروع لأنه راح أنتقد، ما بدي أعمل هذا الشيء لأنه راح يشوفوني بعمل غلط، ما بدي أحكي هاي الكلمة لأنه راح أسمع كلمة مقابلها. فقديش حطمنا ناس وقديش أذينا ناس ووقفناهم عن النجاح بحياتهم بسبب انتقادنا. ممكن هدول الأشخاص يكونوا أقرب الناس إلنا، أولادنا. قد ايه بنحكي كلمات انتقاد تفشلهم وتهدمهم. عمرك ما بتصير، شفت كيف أنت مش رح تنجح، شوف علاماتك، شوف مستواك، شوف قديش متأخر. فبضلني أزرع فيهم هيك، أو شريك حياتي أو مع عائلتي أو بشغلي أو بكنيستي. فالكلام اللي بيطلع عم بهدم، والكلمة اللي بتهدم بتحد الشخص من انه يتقدم ويطلع، وبتأذي وبتوجع، وياما تركت جروح. لو انا وانت عزيزي المشاهد اذا فكرنا بقد ايه كلمات ألمتنا وجرحتنا، بكلمات وجعتنا ومنعتني اعمل اشياء كثيرة بحياتي لانها كانت انتقاد سلبي جارح. إذا بدنا نفكر بالانتقاد خلينا نفكر إحنا قدين أذينا من الآخرين، فبنعرف تأثيره على غيره، على غيرنا من الناس. شو رأيك باربي؟ What do you think, Barbie?
I commend you all to Kalimat Allah, His word. I pray you are in it every day. It will help you, as it has helped us, me, to hold life, my life. My life, He gave it to me like this, with open hands, not like, I must have this, don't take that, don't say this. It takes a lot of energy to do that. Release, release,
Yes.
and lift it all up to God. And with the help of His presence and His word of wisdom. Yes.
So again, we're talking about critical spirit, and we remember from John 17 in the Bible, that was Jesus' prayer before He went to the cross. And remember what He prayed about the church, that we would be
One.
that we would be one,
يكون
that we
واحد
would
فيه.
have, واحد. We would have a unity. And so sometimes we feel like criticizing other people in the church, and this leads to many problems. This leads to churches splitting. This leads to people focusing more on the problems of the church and the problems they have with each other than reaching out into the world and making a difference. So there is a consequence to a critical spirit. If we're criticizing that I don't like the cheap food so-and-so brings to the church potluck, or I don't like the songs we're singing in church, we're not saying you can never criticize, but we need to put that in its place. What would be an appropriate time to deal with what kind of music we have in church, and when is the time we just want to, whatever the style, lift our hearts to the Lord. So we need to put all these things in place and try to not always be thinking the worst. Why? Again, like Barbie said, if these thoughts are in our head, we're just going to be negative. What I found that helps me sometimes when I'm thinking these unhappy thoughts, critical, and sometimes it's just all the things happening in my life that I don't like, it helps to sort of change the channel. You know, like we were talking for anger, time out. What if we can change the channel of our brain? Not the channel, the TV you're watching now. Keep watching, please.
خليكم
We
معنا.
welcome your calls.
خليكم معنا. Yeah.
But what you're thinking about, and like Barbie says, the Word of God is a great way to do that. We can have a brain wash. We can refresh our minds. Romans 12:1 says, renew your mind. David in Psalm 23 says that the Lord restores the soul. We need being restored. And it's not always our fault that we need restoring for. No. If you think of David out there as a shepherd with his sheep, they were running around the fields and getting muddy and dirty, and they needed to be washed. The same with us. We can't go to work. We can't be with people giving us trouble. We can't be walking in the mud of the world without some of it splashing on us. So we need to wash that away. We need to confess what's wrong with ourselves, and then we need to put something positive in our mind. A great way to do that is to sing songs that we know. Another way is to read the Word of God. And frankly, friends, there are things we can do that are secular. That means not just Christian or godly, but they're positive, they're secular, and they can help us. Not exclusively, but for example, maybe when you cook, it takes your minds off your problem. Maybe for me, it's gardening if I work in the garden. And sometimes even reading a book or watching a show. Some healthy things like that, that if they're part of your life, can get your mind off your problem. Now, are we saying that you should spend all your day reading or watching television or cooking and not attending to the business of life. Is that what we're saying?
اكيد اكيد مش هيك اللي احنا بنحكي انه اللي راح يساعدني انا كل وقت بس اقعد هقرا بالكتاب المقدس يمكن او اكون بالكنيسه او شيء، لا، بس زي ما بقول الكتاب متغيره عن شكلكم بتجديد اذهانكم، يعني بدي اجدد فكري بكلمه الله، بقراءه كلمه الله. مش مهم قد ايه عم بقرا باليوم او كم من اصحاح بقطعه، لكن هل عم باخذ فقره بتامل فيها، بقول له يا رب ساعدني حتى اطبق الإشي اللي أنا عم بتعلمه بحياتي، بغذي نفسي بهذا الفكر. بقول مستأثرين فكركم لطاعة المسيح، بصير أنا فكري عم بطيع، بصير كل ما هو جليل، كل ما هو طاهر، كل ما هو حسن، ففي هذا افتكروا. بصير أنا تلقائيا كلمة الله عم تغسل ذهني، عم تغسل أفكاري، عم تغسل قلبي زي المي القوية، لأنه هي المي اللي جاي من النبع، من المصدر، عم تغسل وبتنظف، بتقيم كل الشوائب، كل الأشياء اللي غلط. فأنا هي مجرد انه عم بتغذى بكلمه الله، انا عم باخذ عشان اطبق، عشان اعيشها، مش عشان قد ايه عم بقرا او بخلص، لانه كلمه الله الحيه اللي هي بتغير وبتعمل مفعولها كسيف ذو حدين، بيخترق وبيغير، هاي هي اللي بتنتج مني شيء جديد وبتساعدني انه اتمتع بحياه مسيحيه حقيقيه بتعمل تأثير على الآخرين، والجميع بيشتموا مني رائحة المسيح الذكية.
You know, we've been called by Yeshua to be one, to be unified, not to divide. That's, the enemy loves that, makes us weaker when we're all divided. Yeshua is the head, we're the body. We need each other. It's a good thing to have a prayer partner or someone that you pray with about things. We're never alone. Yeshua is always with us. And friends of faith with us too. His word, I mean, we have, in Ephesians 6, talks about the armor that we have. I love that passage. I go over and over and over that. All the promises of God, over 7,000. All the promises to just claim they're yours, they're mine, they're ours. Bless you.
Before we end our hour today, we have a few minutes left that I would like to talk about what I think are the most important things in life, and that's peace and purpose. We did an episode on that, and we want to tell you tonight how you can have peace with God and with yourself and with people around you. And what is the most important thing in life, folks? I know you hear this on the Way TV all the time, and that is to have peace with God. The book of Romans 5, verse 1 tells us we can have peace with God. Think about it. Peace with God. We can have peace in our hearts, knowing that we have peace with God. And when we have peace with God and peace in our hearts, is it not easier to have peace with each other? Rhonda, would you like to introduce this topic to our viewers about peace? What are the kinds of peace?
السلام، إنه الواحد يعيش بسلام، يكون بسلام مع الله، سلام مع نفسي، سلام مع الآخرين، لأنه بدون السلام أنا ما بقدر أعيش. العالم زي ما احنا شايفين عم بيتنازعوا على السلام، وكلهم بركضوا ورا السلام، لكن هن عم بيبعدوا عن رئيس السلام. احنا بنحتاج نيجي لرئيس السلام حتى يملأ حياتنا بالسلام. بدون السلام أنا ما بقدر أعيش. إذا ما تصالحت مع نفسي وإذا ما تصالحت مع الله، مش راح يكون في عندي سلام يفيض للآخرين. وسلام الله الذي يفوق كل عقل هو بيملأ قلوبنا وأفكارنا. بس هذا ما بصير إذا أنا ما كان إلي علاقة شخصية بيني وبين الله حتى يملأ قلبي بالسلام، لأنه هو نفسه إله السلام بيسكن فيي وبداخلي. شو رأيك بارب؟ What do you think, Barb?
Well, he is my peace. I felt that when I came to him in university days. The trials and lessons of life have just deepened and broadened that peace. Life is not easy, but He is with us. He wants to raise us up to be mature and ready to be with Him forever and to live and serve Him in this earth. We grow step by step. We become larger in His work, His knowledge, His peace. Praise God for that.
The Bible tells us that one of the fruits of the Spirit is peace. It's
Yes.
peace.
ثمر الروح.
And in Isaiah, it tells us that the fruit of righteousness will be peace and
Yes.
confidence.
Yes.
And I believe, folks, when we are following God, we will have more peace. And have you ever had a moment in your life when you felt it's okay, even though there were problems around you? Maybe you were at a funeral and you felt it's okay. I felt that way at my parents' funerals because I knew they were with God. Even though it was very sad, I thought, there is peace. They are with God. There are times when there have been problems, something happened very bad, but I thought, you know, God is with me. And because of that, I'm protected. And that gave me peace. So that's a peace in our heart that we can have.
Amen.
And the Bible tells us that we can have a peace that goes beyond understanding. If you try to explain it, if Barbie tries, if Randa tries, we can't exactly explain it. In the book of Philippians chapter 4, verse 7, which is what, Randa?
وسلام الله الذي يفوق كل عقل يحفظ قلوبكم وأفكاركم في المسيح يسوع.
And the book in Arabic is
فيليبي
Philippi.
6-7.
So look that up.
Oh.
It talks about how we can have that. And of course, it explains that that peace comes after praying and giving God your problems, trusting Him to deal with it, and thinking positive thoughts, washing your mind. Is it easy to have peace if all day long you're thinking about your problems, your children's problems, your problems at work, your family problems, the problems in our country with politics? Is it easy to have peace, ladies?
أبدا.
No. And we can never get rid of all those problems. So we have to follow how the Bible encourages us, which is know God, have peace with God by Jesus our Savior. Have peace in our heart by doing what the Bible tells us to do,
Amen.
which is pray, trust God with our burdens, and think more positive thoughts. Then we can have peace in our hearts. And have you noticed when you're around an angry person, it's not as comfortable as being around a peaceful person?
Yes.
Barbie and I lost touch with each other for several years when we moved out of state. I went to medical school. Then we came back together again. And one thing I loved about having Barbie come to visit me as a house guest, you don't know I'm going to say this, Barbie, and you don't even know it's true, but she brought peace with her. It was just beautiful to spend time with Barbie in prayer and thanksgiving and feel that peace. I know Randa's had her as a house guest too, so I think you know what I'm saying. When there's that peace, you can have peace with other people. And in your church, in your family, in your community, when there's peace inside you, they will sense it and it will be easier. And then you'll be practicing those things we talked about of how to handle anger when someone offends you, how to resolve a conflict, and how to move on. So if you need any more advice on those or discussion on it, watch the series that are posted online. And again, Lord willing, we will be having them playing. We'll have another live episode or two coming up in the next few days at 6 o'clock. But also we will be replaying our old episodes. So I would like to close with the other P. In English, we have peace and we have purpose. This is what I think all of our life is about. Peace with God, with ourselves, with others. And purpose, we're all here for a reason. And I can't tell you what your reason is. Part of our reason for being here is to come today and to share with you. But we all have other purposes in our lives, people that we work with, our families, many things. And in John 17, This is how we know we have a purpose. Before Jesus went to heaven, in John 17, verse 24, he said, Father, I want those you have given me to be with me where I am and to see my glory. God wants us with him in heaven. This earth is not paradise. There's nowhere that is paradise. The Bible never claims it is, which is what I like about the Christian faith, is it's reality-based. It's not one of those faiths that says, oh, everything will be fine if we all meditate on the same level. No, it is not paradise here. God only leaves us here for a purpose. When his purposes are complete, then we can be with him in heaven.
Yeah. Wow.
All those who love him and believe in Christ and want to be with him. If you don't want to be with God, you don't love Jesus, he won't make you. No, but if you want to, he wants you with him. And he prayed that in John 17, where he prays for us, people that would come after his disciples specifically. And he also said in verse 18, as you sent me into the world, Lord, I am sending them. In his final prayer, he committed us to the Father, and he said that he is sending us. We have talking about us right there in John 17. If you haven't read it, I suggest that you do. And you will know from that that God is sending you here for a purpose. He knows it's not nice, but he's giving you an assignment. So if you haven't found it yet, I pray that you will. I'll ask our other ladies to share on this before we close. Barbie
have
has
a
something to
verse
say.
I have to share.
Okay, let's hear.
If you have never, if you haven't read Philippians 1:21, I would
Excellent.
I would ask you to please do this over and over. Meditate. Think on this. Selah. Thank you.
Okay, can we quote it for them?
Would you like to know? Okay.
I think
Philippians
they want to know.
1:21. It's simple, but it's so broad and deep. To live is Christ. To die is gain. Think on these things. Think on this.
هي الحياة هي المسيح والموت هو ربح. آمين. آمين. هذا اللي بشجعنا إنه زي ما حكينا نكون بعلاقة وسلام مع الله، نتصالح معه، سلام مع نفوسنا، سلام مع الآخرين. هذا ما بيجي إلا باعترافي أمامه إنه هو الرب والإله والسيد. أطلب منه الغفران والمسامحة حتى يغسلني ويطهرني بدمه، يعطيني حياة جديدة. وبهاي اللحظة أنا بصير ابن أو بنت إله، وهو بيقبلني، وهو بيقول من يقبل إلي لا أخرجه خارجا. وبصير إلي سلام مع الله اللي بعيشه يوم بيوم ولحظة بلحظة، اللي العالم وكل الدنيا وكل اللي حوالي ما بيقدر يعطيني ذرة من السلام إذا مش إله السلام نفسه دخل لقلبي وغير حياتي وخلصني.
آمين.
هذا هو إلهنا.
Any final words? Any other final words?
Love,
Love.
blessings, our prayers.
We will be praying for all of you. We're so thankful that you joined us for this live episode, the first live episode of Woman Who Makes a Difference. امرأة تحدث فرقاً, more or less.
امرأة تحدث فرقا. ونحن بنذكركم وبنقول لكم وبنثق فيكم وعندنا ايمان فيكم انه انتم رح تحدثوا فرق في حياتكم وفي حياة الآخرين. روحي وتشجعي وانطلقي أختي، أنت رح تقدري تعملي فرق بقوة الله اللي هي فيكي. آمين. بنثق فيكي وبنشجعك. اذهبي.
Amen. God loves you, and we hope that you're intrigued by our live episode, and you will be sure to watch all 13 episodes that we have online and when they play again. Thank you for joining us here tonight on The Way TV.